Investment advisory services offered through Independent Solutions Wealth Management and Blackridge Asset Management, LLC. Peak Broker Services, LLC is not an affiliate of Independent Solutions or Financial Guys, LLC.
You're listening to The Financial Guys.
We're $23 trillion in debt, honey. We don't have an extra surplus of money.
Newsflash, guys, stop attacking businesses because when all the businesses are gone, nobody's going to pay your salary anymore. You get that?
If the goal is to create a loser mentality, you're winning.
I'm going to build a big, beautiful wall with a big, beautiful door. Well, guess what? We have a big, beautiful door, all right. It's the wide open southern border, right?
Yeah. Here's Glenn Wiggle and Mike Lomas.
All right, welcome everybody to the Financial Guys. No, it's not a radio podcast. I was going to say radio podcast, but it's not. It's just a podcast. So, welcome to just a podcast. You've got the Financial Guys, Glenn Wiggle, Mike Lomas. It's place.
Not just a podcast.
Well, it's the best
freaking
podcast.
Great.
It is awesome.
It is the podcast. The best.
This is
the greatest ever.
The greatest ever. The show where money meets politics, or is it politics meets money? One of the two, but we are going to talk about politics and money, as we do on our radio shows and our podcast each and every week. If you do want to find out more about the stuff that we do for a living Monday through Friday, which is the financial stuff, you can go to our website at thefinancialguys.com and find all the different links to all of our different social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Our website.
I just
say our website. That's all.
Yeah, go to our website, YouTube, and we have a YouTube channel as well. Which we're doing the best we can, folks, to pump out as much content as possible. We've got shortly we'll have 3 different radio stations. We'll be broadcasting to probably close to 50, 60, 70,000 listeners a week.
Pretty much the biggest thing going in Western New York, outside,
no doubt,
all the way maybe down even now to South Florida. So.
South Florida, Rochester, Western New York, all good.
Biggest thing in Buffalo and Rochester.
Yeah, Rochester, Florida.
No, we're
the
doing
biggest
good.
growing thing.
Hey, anyway. Before we jump into any of this stuff, you mentioned when money meets politics. Just real quickly, the markets. It's funny because I've been talking to some of our leading economists, and we have chartered financial analysts that help us with our managed portfolio side. But I was talking to Mike Zimmer yesterday. Mike, really smart guy, master's degree in finance and economics, and we were sort of laughing because as a firm, we've always said don't time the markets, make subtle changes along the way. And if you look back at 2019, which is now entering its final quarter, I don't know where it's going to all end up, but the market's in bull territory, right? Stock market's up 17, 18% for the year. If you look back at most of the economists in the beginning of this year and the last year, they said this is going to be a crappy year.
Yeah.
Most of them said it's going to be a crappy year.
Yeah.
Get ready, put your
digits.
seatbelts on. Yep. I actually save a bunch of it, and I always laugh because I say you just cannot listen to any of these folks. They are worse than predicting whether the Bills are going to cover the spread this week.
They're like the weathermen.
At least the weathermen are, honest to God, I know people get mad at them, but for the most part, they're pretty much right? It's going to be snowy. Like the weatherman's not going to come out today and say it's going to be 75 degrees or 80 degrees in Buffalo tomorrow.
Completely miss it.
They're going to be within a degree or two.
Right.
Yeah, you can bitch because the storm didn't come in an hour at a time, but the fact of the matter is they're pretty close. Economists just suck.
Well, it's funny because we had
they really suck.
Well, we had a meeting this morning, and the guy said, was it Morgan Stanley or one of the big institutions
mentioned 3 bullish or bearish signs. I'm like, buy.
They're talking about the next 5 years, an average rate of return for the next decade, 5 to 10 years, of about 5%.
Great news
in the market.
To me, great news.
These folks honest to God, they couldn't forecast anything. I mean, there's first of all, so much will change in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
5 days.
Right? I mean,
5 days.
We don't know who the president's going to be, what the policies are going to be, what the.
How about the trade policies coming out of China? I mean, in the next 5 days, that could change dramatically.
Yeah, these are the same folks that as you said, predicted low stock market returns this year. They also predicted a recession and sub 1% growth
for the last 3 years.
They have been wrong. Same folks, by the way, who said that if Trump gets elected, we're all going to hell in a handbasket because the market's going to go into a Great Depression. Same folks. So I guess the point to that is when you're listening to analysts, when you're listening to the Morgan Stanleys, the UBSs, the Merrill Lynches, the Bank of Americas, the Wells Fargos of the world, take it all with a grain of salt because most of these folks don't have any more of a clue than you do. Nobody has a crystal ball, and there's a lot of different things that affect the market. So here's the key, right? Here's what we do. Stay diversified, have a balanced portfolio, own a lot of different categories of a lot of different things, right? Make sure you own large caps, small caps, and not all stocks, right? Fixed income, some real estate, different asset classes.
Yeah.
If you balance off a portfolio and you take a long-term approach and you strategically rebalance over time, making those subtle adjustments that you always talk about, then you're going to be in great shape.
Now, I don't want to belittle the investment process because it is complicated, and there's sectors, and it's funny because the people that don't know what you're doing, you miss certain sectors. You might miss high yield. You might miss small cap value or large cap growth, or and if you don't know some of those words, you shouldn't be managing your own money.
Right.
So it's complicated, and I don't want to take that away. I just laugh from the timing of it. Make subtle adjustments along the way. If and when the market pulls back, make sure you're in a position to take advantage of it. But please don't listen to these people and pull all your money out because you miss out on years like this where we were up 18, 19%.
Right.
So
I mean, we managed the year. We could go up plus 20. We'll see what happens.
could be up plus 20. These are the same people that a year ago you would have been frightened to say. We had the opportunity to have dinner with one of the largest bond managers in the world over the summer. Very bright guy, very nice guy. But he was talking about a recession is imminent any day now. And a lot of our folks left that room and they said to me, Mike, oh my God, I'm nervous. I said, why?
Right.
Well, it was all negative, negative, negative. He doesn't know. What do you mean? He's a billionaire.
Right.
So what? He doesn't know. Well, I was right. He was wrong, right? Not that I was right, but I just was right in saying you don't time the market. You don't listen to that stuff. They don't know what's going to go on a day-to-day basis. You don't know where trade's going to go tomorrow. You don't know where interest rates are going to go tomorrow. You don't know whether two lunatics are going to do something with a terrorist attack.
Right.
I mean, all that stuff, nobody knows. And so you just make sure you're diversified, as you pointed out. Make sure you own all the different sectors, and you're making baby steps along the way.
Yep, no doubt. Okay, let's get on to some politics because
Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
No, but that's good. It's important to send that message. You know, you hear a lot of different. In fact, I heard from a couple analysts back in September, October was going to be this brutally terrible month. It was pretty much a yawner. Right?
Good, actually. It was a good month.
Yeah, it was a good month, right? I mean, it was supposed to be like the big correction month, and actually we're at all-time highs. But anyway, I don't know if you saw this or not, but CNN, Brian Stelter, has been reduced now to basically spell checking Trump.
Well, I like when they take.
What a loser!
I like when CNN pulls out like a Republican from like a town board in like Poughkeepsie, Idaho, or something. Like, look at this radical agenda they're putting together, and you find out it's like the dog happens to be a conservative dog catcher.
Right. You find out though. I mean, this guy. You want to talk about living rent free in somebody's head?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy. He did a whole. This is his show. He did a whole show on Trump versus Obama misspelling errors. Like, yeah, that's news. I mean, CNN, like, honest to God, do you want to lose, like, the last 6 viewers you have? I mean, honest to God. You're trending
the airports
below.
will shut you off at some point.
I mean, you're trending below Nickelodeon. I think that should give you a message. But Zucker doesn't care.
No.
He is hell-bent on, it's all going to be impeachment, and what a joke. This was the best, though. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Jesse Waters this week was interviewing.
Can we play that video, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Navy SEAL.
Interviewing Navy SEAL Mike Ritland, who was the founder of Warrior Dog Foundation. And he was talking about, you know, the dogs that they train and how they train. At the end of the interview, it's just priceless. I'll go right to the end of the interview, and we'll play that because it's just, we don't need to play the whole interview. It's just classic, though, and this will lead us on to the next part of the conversation. But let me see if I can get this to the right spot here. Right at the end, here we go.
Just the remarkable nature of these dogs and them being highlighted in the news creates a huge demand by people that frankly shouldn't have them. If you see the coverage and you decide I want one of these dogs, either buy a finished trained, fully trained and finished dog from a professional, or just don't get one at all. That and Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yes, he did.
And
lots of
Epstein
people can
didn't kill
strangle
himself.
themselves from the back.
Yeah, and Epstein. I mean, obviously, the big news this week, right, was another what do you call it? A coroner, I guess, came out and said that.
Oh my God!
This isn't. I mean, it's
how. By the way, look
on.
at. I'm a Trump supporter.
Investigate this.
Trump, where are you, man?
Well, the thing is,
what are you doing?
The thing is, that what I hear on the news is, well, we need the FBI and the intelligence community to investigate this. No, we don't. I think they did it.
No, you don't. Yeah.
They did it.
Hey, hello, send Mike and Glenn in. I can do the investigation.
I mean, seriously.
You can do the investigation. I mean, give me a break.
We need a separate.
Cameras moved, guards moved.
Yeah.
The door, the gate was unlocked. I mean, give me a break.
The cellmate was moved out the day before.
Yeah. It looks like he was strangled to death. It's pretty difficult to strangle yourself to death.
He was obviously either.
This is so disgustingly obvious. And by the way, Trump This is the kind of stuff that walks you back into office.
No doubt.
You know what? Take
your
your campaign money, spend $100,000, then give some private investigators some money.
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
And open up the case.
Be less worried about
get the
all
FBI
the comments.
out, get everybody out, private investigators. Here's the report.
What they should have done already, and this is the thing now, all that evidence is, I'm sure, been tampered with. It's all, I'm sure the cameras have been
guards
replaced.
that were there? Have they all been fired? Is everybody running that prison gone?
So by the time we got around to Hillary Clinton, she had already smashed the BlackBerries with a hammer. Right?
Sure.
She had already removed the hard drive from her server and hit it in
lots of people do that,
right, in a hidden location. What do you think they've done with this jail, though? Do you think you think those faulty cameras are still there? No, I'm sure they're fixed by now.
Oh yeah,
right. Do you think those temp guards are still around?
Let me say
they're probably sitting in Costa Rica somewhere.
Let me show you how they got fixed. I think I'll flip this switch back on.
Exactly, right? But what should have happened, to be honest, you right? Yeah, right.
Lights are back. Wow.
I
thought we were out of power. No shit.
No, what should have happened was they should have locked down that whole area of the jail.
Yeah.
Nobody comes or goes. You put guards around it
Right.
24/7
Right.
until we can get an independent person in there to actually investigate.
Right.
No, it's all too late now.
Yeah.
So too late. The thing is, though, that really bugs me the most
figure.
is, number one, we all know that he was killed, right, or forced to commit suicide in some. Here's the rope, in some way, shape, or form. But the thing is, what about the accomplices?
Yeah.
Are we going after a Ghislaine? What's her name? Charlene Ghislaine or whatever.
I mean,
you don't do this alone. He was the head of a human smuggling ring, basically.
Right,
he
right.
was a sex trafficker. You don't do that alone.
Nope.
You have accomplices. You have people that source these girls. You have people that look into this. That find these people.
An incredible opportunity, by the way.
Where's the investigation?
You're more into hunting, but to cut the head of the snake off, right?
Yes.
This is an incredible opportunity to follow the body all the way up to the top.
Yep.
I can't think of a more disgusting thing than to be sex trafficking kids,
Yep.
right? I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, you're tall, short, I don't give a crap. That is the most disgusting thing possible.
Yep.
And the opportunity to be able to go in and source where this is coming from and run it up the chain and go get these scumbags is you have to do it, right? You have to do it. Not you want it or you should. You have to do it. You have to do it. I'll tell you what, if it was one of my kids, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I'd spend every last dollar I have finding every single one of you and tracking you down. Every single I would spend the rest of my life every single
frustrating
day
thing
tracking you down to kill you. I would take you out.
To Trump's credit, he has done more to shut down sex trafficking than any other president before him. He's done a really good job with, and that's one thing that Jeff Sessions actually was good at, being when he was there. He wasn't good at much else, but he was good at tracking these folks down, putting them in jail, getting them out of the country. But this Epstein thing, it can't just die with Epstein, and that's what they're hoping, right? And the media, of course, they follow their orders.
It does.
It does.
It does.
I know.
And
Makes
the
you sick.
Republicans, without any goddamn backbone, they let it happen every single time, right? What happened? What was all the talk about prosecuting Hillary once Trump got?
Oh
in?
yeah, you'd be in
Remember?
jail.
We were going to do that. The minute I get in, I'm going to appoint a special counsel to go after you. Where is that special counsel?
Where is it? Right. Where is it?
I'm not a detective. You're not. We could figure this out within seconds.
I figured that he would wait until the Mueller investigation was over, not to muddy the waters, let that play its course, and then when that was over, and he started the Bill Barr investigation into the source and what that whole Russian collusion thing. But what about Hillary? There's more to it, right? Why not put a special counsel in place to find out what happened with classified information? I have heard, and I don't know if this is going to happen or not, I have heard, though, that they have named about a dozen people in connection, and they're looking to prosecute those people. Now, if the people that handle that classified data go to jail and Hillary doesn't, then that just really goes to show you the Democrat privilege. They talk about white privilege. They talk about all this stuff. It's Democrat privilege. When an Anthony Weiner can proposition a 16-year-old girl for sex and only spend 2 years in jail, something is wrong.
Yeah,
something's not right.
When Spitzer can walk across straight borders with prostitutes and fistfuls of $1,000 bills, and then get a show on CNN, it's Democrat privilege. But the flip side of that is, I've never seen a president with such stones in my life. Right, his campaign was awesome. It should have set the foundation of every other conservative in this country to say, grow a set, find your backbone, and stick with it and don't back down from these people, right? But yet, when it comes to prosecuting some of these people, now he's on the defense. Well, I didn't do anything with Ukraine, and I did the right things. Well, forget it. Go. Balls to the wall. By the way,
get on the offense.
Go after Biden and his son. Right? They're clearly corrupt.
No doubt.
They're really. Did you take $80,000 a month? Did the Trump son take $80,000 a month? No. No.
No.
It was Hunter Biden that took $80,000 a month. Go after him. That's how you win.
Yep.
That's how you won last time, by having a
Yep.
set of stones. Do it again. Bring up go after the Clinton family.
Right.
You don't think they're going to have ties to this next election?
I'll tell you what.
You bet your butt they will.
If Joe Biden drops out of the race, and he's going to have to, right? Because he's not raising any money. He's a train
Does he
wreck.
know he's in the race still?
He's not even sure
I've seen
what
him sort
state
of floating.
he's in.
He's like one of those floats.
He's in Iowa, arguably
on the Thanksgiving Day parade. He's like
Oh,
bouncing
yeah.
off of buildings and stuff.
Arguably the most important state to be in is Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to set the tone for the election. He's in Iowa giving a speech, thanking people because he's happy he's in Ohio, right? He doesn't even know what state he's in.
He doesn't know.
That's the second
He
time he's
doesn't
done that
know.
now in as many weeks.
I know.
He has no
I
idea.
almost started
So look,
to feel a little bit bad for Joe.
well, he needs to drop out. He's going to drop out. He's not going to make it. He's going to step out.
He needs
right?
to find a good
Here's the
nursing
thing.
home to sit in.
Kamala Harris is going next. Biden's after that, right? But once Biden drops out of the race, once he's no longer it's a political opponent. When he's not a political opponent, you're absolutely right. There better be an investigation immediately launched into Biden, his
There should
son,
be
and
one
the whole
now.
family.
Forget the political opponent. Be one now.
Well, if you don't want the flack of
they're
while
gonna-
you're doing it for political reasons,
Yeah.
he's going to drop out.
These-
There's no wait. It's not going anywhere.
If Trump
wait 2 weeks,
smashed his
wait
server-
30 days.
Think about this: the Clintons smashed their servers, they smashed their phones, they bleached all their stuff. Right. In the meantime, they are wiretapping
Yeah,
the Trump building.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
Yet we're not going on the offense.
Right.
I would be.
Right.
You would see me throwing grenades.
That's
at
right.
every darn one.
Yep.
Hillary would be in jail. Right.
Yep, no
the
doubt.
Biden family would be on their way to jail.
Right.
Right. Mitt Romney, by the way, you would be investigated
Yep.
too, and your son. Right.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's son, guess what? We're opening an investigation on him.
Yeah.
You want to play ball? We'll get all three of them. We'll get all three of them.
That's
You can
exactly
share
what
a
I'm
jail
saying.
cell.
He does
Yeah,
that.
There's an empty one. Epstein's gone.
That's right. He does that. You're right. I think either way, Trump's going to win 35 to 40 states.
I agree
Right?
with
He's going to
you.
win 35 to 40 states, and if it wasn't for Democrats cheating, he'd probably win 49 like Reagan did in '84.
They're worried about cheating, except you don't need any ID.
No ID. No
That's
ID
what he
required.
said. That fake
I love that.
videos could upend an election in Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
they're
the
worried
worry.
about. That's why they're going after Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Because Facebook's not getting rid of all the conservatives
Oh, yeah.
yet. Okay.
Yep.
And by the way, this is going to backfire on them too. They eat their own,
Yes,
and
they
then
do.
what they do, and Zuckerberg's going to do this. He's eventually going to say, "Wait a minute, you're eating me,
Right.
Screw you.
Screw you.
Screw
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Guess what? And it's gonna bite them in the butt, just like the Ukrainian Biden thing will bite them in the butt. But they're so worried that quote a fake video might come out. Now it's really a video probably showing the conditions in Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Oh, yeah,
right?
no doubt.
And that's considered a fake video because there was 18 pieces of crap, not 24 like they showed on the streets, right? But yet. They're so worried about fake videos, but yet you don't need any ID. That's okay to just walk up and say, "I'm Mary Beth Joseph. I want to vote." Right? No, not worried about ID, but they're worried about fake videos.
That's
it
right.
just shows you the hypocrisy there.
I think the liberals really think, and maybe they think this, maybe they believe this. I think they believe it, that most voters are stupid. That's what they think.
Yeah.
I mean, AOC, right?
Sure they are.
Ocasio-Cortez.
They're saying the black community can't even vote.
That's right.
If we tell them the wrong date,
Right.
they're going to show up on the wrong time.
Right.
I would be so aggravated. If I was living in the inner city, I would be
Like, what are you
beyond
talking
aggravated.
about?
Who are you talking about? Me?
Me?
I know
Right.
what date to show up to vote.
Unbelievable.
I know how to get. Remember, somebody did it. I think it was Fox. Where,
Yeah.
hey,
I think
you
it was
happen to
Jesse
be a
Waters,
black
actually.
man.
Yeah.
Are you smart enough to
Do you
be able
have
to go
ID?
get your license?
Of course, I have ID.
Would you be able to show it to somebody?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
What are you
right.
talking about? Yeah.
But this is the Governor Cuomo, to switch gears for a second.
Yeah.
We didn't have hurricanes, superstorms, or tornadoes before climate change. Really? No kidding. But the best part about this
Has
is...
he ever been to Niagara Falls?
No. The
That's
best part...
amazing, right? The climate change.
He's clueless.
Right.
The best part, but this is where the point of they believe that we're stupid, right? He says flat out, we are at the lowest. I got to find the clip. We are at the lowest spending in state history. Like, what are you even talking about?
We were $3 billion short
Right.
last year.
I gotta find a piece
We
of
are,
this.
by the way, we are the number 2 when it comes to state debt, right? California is the only state ahead of us, number 2, $3 billion shortfall. And yet this nitwit is out trying to force us to get new license plates. That's how desperate they are for cash.
We spent
right?
$175 billion in New York on the budget this past
Yeah.
year.
The least
$175
amount
billion.
ever.
The most amount ever, clearly. Let me just play a little clip of this because this will make you nauseous. This is in response to Trump leaving New York and changing his residency to Florida, his whole family.
Yeah.
And people like Cuomo especially, good riddance.
Yeah.
People People are like, well, I had somebody on Twitter. It was said, well, the Trump's not supposed to be running his businesses. So are you saying he's still running his companies? I'm like, no, you moron. His whole family is moving to Florida. The whole company is moving to Florida.
Yeah.
You're just an idiot.
Well, I love that. You know what? I love that. And here's the excuse these liberals will do. Well, the billionaires don't pay taxes anyways. Yeah, the Trump family never spent any money in New York City.
No, never.
Never.
No.
Never.
Didn't employ people there or anything else. Let me just play a clip of this.
Let me tell you what.
Though.
The Trump conferences will forever now be down in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, exactly.
They won't be in Manhattan.
That's right.
They won't be in the Bronx or wherever these places are that they do their conventions in New York City. But they will be in Palm. Just like the guy who used to own the Sabres when they moved the headquarters, the first NHL Sabres type of thing was down in South Florida. It wasn't in New York State.
Yep, no doubt. Let me play this clip because this is hilarious.
That's quite a tweet. First, why do you believe the president changed his legal residency? And what will this move mean for the current legal fights he's having with the state of New York?
Good question, and good to be with you, Stephanie and Ali. Quite a tweet. Yeah, well, that's to quite a tweeter. I think your question is right. There is a legal proceeding against the president from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, where they're trying to get him to turn over the taxes. I'm the former Attorney General of New York before I was governor. My guess is...
Wait, can you pause that? Can you pause that? What New York State has got... Don't you have his tax return?
Yes, they do. They have them.
No,
he filed his taxes in New York State.
Right.
That's how dumb these people are. They're that stupid.
Right.
Yes.
And by the way,
turn over your
Andrew,
taxes as if they were done in secret and a check was just sent in New York. Just audit him, you idiots.
I'm going to send the New York State tax return down to Florida. Oh, my God.
They're just so dumb.
Oh, my. He's been audited. He's been audited like once every 5 years
every
or
year.
something like that.
Yeah, you guys are close with the IRS, Democrats. Just talk to the IRS. Just talk. Bring Lois Lerner back.
You have no right
give you whatever you want.
You have no right to see his federal tax return.
The IRS, by the way, the IRS shared private information of donors to a non-for-profit that they were not allowed to share. That's our IRS. And they can deny it, but they actually settled the case with with one of the lawsuits.
And you liberals, you'd have to be an absolute moron for Donald Trump to hand over his tax return. There is zero benefit to do that. They gave, it was like 60 Minutes or one of these, a Dateline. They gave a tax return to 100 different IRS agents, and there was 100 different answers.
Right.
So guess what? There's a no-win situation for him.
That's right.
There's going to be 99. You can give his tax return to 100 different IRS agents.
Yep.
You're going to come up with 100 different answers.
Yep.
And you're all going to make him make him out to be a bad guy. There's no win there. There's no win. He knows that.
Yep.
That's why he's not releasing the tax returns. It's not rocket science. He shouldn't, because you're going to hold it over him no matter what.
But they have his tax returns.
Yeah.
He filed them in New York.
Andrew does. I'm sure Andrew does.
For sure.
I'm sure Andrew's been combing over it nonstop. He
sure.
can't find anything wrong with it, and that's the problem.
Well, that's what they do.
Not to release his taxes to the Manhattan District Attorney
find this
if he could say he was no longer a resident of the state of New York.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
I don't believe it's going to be dispositive, but I could see it as a legal tactic.
Or inheritance taxes compared to New York, which does have some of the highest tax rates in the nation.
Oh.
This may have nothing to do with Donald Trump's legal issues. It may have to do with the fact that once he's a private citizen, he doesn't want to pay New York taxes.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, a lot of people from New York moved to Florida. A lot of people from the Northeast moved to Florida.
Because of what, the weather?
When they retire.
When they retire.
Maybe the president is planning on retiring.
I see. When they retire.
That's
But
right. That's right.
under my governorship...
Oh, this is the money shot here. This is the best part. Under my leadership, this is great.
The tax rates for every New Yorker have come down.
Did you know this?
State spending is at record lows.
Oh, whoa, right there. State spending. I'm sorry, what was that, Andy?
My governorship.
Say that again.
The tax
Liar.
rates for every New Yorker have come down.
Yeah.
State spending is at record lows.
What?
Right?
What?
With a straight face, right?
Oh, my
So the
gosh.
question is, does he believe that?
Yes.
Or does he believe it's a total lie, but you're too stupid to know the difference?
The latter.
State
The
spending
latter.
is at record
There-
lows.
there is-
State spending is at the all-time high of $175 billion. New York State, let me say it again, folks. New York State has never had a budget as big as 2019. We spent more money in 2019
Huge group of folks.
than ever before.
Huge.
That is not the lowest amount of state spending.
Yep.
These people are nuts.
No, you got 8. They're clinically insane.
Nuts.
18 miles, by the way, that destroys this entire state.
Wow.
It's really a shame. When you look
But they
at
didn't
the
even
state
follow
of
up
New
the follow-up question.
Yeah.
They let him go with it.
No, let him go.
Let me play the rest of this. They let him just to pass.
And if anything, Donald Trump, I think, has alienated many of the people in the state of New York.
Oh, yeah.
You
He's
know,
gonna win the
he
state of New York.
raised New York's taxes when he passed his federal tax
he
reform,
raised
the
them.
so-called
I didn't know
SALT,
I see.
elimination of state and local tax
I see.
deductibility. Cost
Yeah,
New
that
York
makes
$15
sense. That
billion.
makes sense. He raised
His
the New York State
policies have
So he
alienated
took
New
the state
Yorkers.
tax rate
Yeah.
as the president and increased it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And the sad thing is,
sorry about that, Andrew. I really
he
I owe
made
you an
you right.
apology. I thought it was you that was the governor of the state.
All Trump's fault.
Yeah,
all
okay.
Trump's fault. Yeah. So the state tax bracket is nearly 9%. The city tax bracket, if you're, for the pleasure of living in the rat-infested city, is an extra 4%.
13%. 13%. Compare that to, I don't know, 0
Yeah.
in the state of Florida.
Your state
0.
taxes are 16% for states over $10 million. So on
That's
top of the
crazy.
federal 50%,
Right.
you get to pay another 16% in New York.
Yeah.
Think about
The
that. For
pleasure
somebody
of
who has
paying-
$1 billion.
The pleasure of paying ridiculous, because people say, oh, well, you got $10 million of real estate. $10 million of real estate in New York City is very different than $10 million worth of real estate in Buffalo,
Yep.
right? So it's a big difference. And, so you're talking about wiping out 13% a year from the state, then wiping out another 16% when you pass away.
That's right.
That's before you pay your school taxes.
That's right.
That's before you go and buy anything
Yep.
and you buy your county sales tax or anything like that.
But, Mike, lots
Total
of people
joke.
retire to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the
They're losing like how many people a day?
It's only
What a
it's
joke.
only the retirees that are going
That's
there.
it. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, not the businesses. Not the how many businesses are leaving a day?
Yeah.
How many jobs are leaving a day out of the state? I mean, it's
Oh.
ridiculous. It's like 600 a day or something like that every single day. I mean, we lost more population in this state.
Yeah, the moving
than any
truck
other
is
state.
the only business that's actually working.
Unbelievable. All right, last thing, and then we'll cut it off and we'll go to some other stuff, I guess. I don't know if you would stick with New York City. This probably now we talked last week about the 1, 2, 3 step program of Democrat, create the problem by the policies you put in place, blame somebody or something else for those problems, and then present the big government solution to the problems that you created.
Yep.
But I got to hand it to de Blasio. He's taken it up a notch.
Yes, he has.
Right?
Yes,
so
he
he's
has.
created a problem of homelessness in New York City.
Right.
But instead of placing the blame, he just shipped them to a different state. He just basically said, hey, put them on a bus, send them to a different state. We'll pay a year's worth of rent for you to go live somewhere else.
I have to be honest
And they
with
didn't
you.
tell anybody else. So they're sending off to Hawaii, Puerto Rico,
This was a
all
shocker
over America.
To me. This was a shocker to me. They usually
Oh,
don't
man.
follow up with the third step. Usually what happens is these liberal Democrats wait around and sit around for another government policy to come in and
Yep.
fix the problem.
Not this one.
To his credit, he didn't
Yeah.
do that. He caused the problem. They blame the problem on global warming. They blame the problem on not enough money, not enough. The 1%ers aren't paying their fair share there. So they blame the problem. But this time, they actually rounded them all up and sent them
Sent them
all
somewhere
out.
else.
Very loving, by the way.
Yeah.
For a left-wing liberal,
Yeah. Oh,
very
yeah.
loving.
Yep.
Considering, I'm sure he's got plenty of room in his house.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I'm sure he's got a nice big apartment there in the
Well, he
city.
does now because he and his wife are laundering about $1 billion in, she has no experience running a business, but now she's got $1 billion budget to run a complete failure. I'm sure that a lot of that's going to go in her pocket, the family's pocket.
Sure.
So since 2017, New York State has spent $89 million on just the rent for this program. Since the inception, 5,074 homeless families have been sent away, 12,482 individuals to places as close as Newark and as far as the South Pacific, according to the Department of Homeless Services data obtained by the New York Post.
Well, it's good to see they're not fixing the problem. I mean, they are fixing it in that immediate area by getting rid of them, but
Yep.
there'll be more to come. There'll be more to come.
Families who once lived in city shelters.
Wait until the rolling blackouts hit New York City.
Oh, yeah,
just
well,
as
that's
they're now
coming.
hitting California. Wait until that.
They were decamped to 32 states and to Puerto Rico. So the city also paid their travel expenses through a separate taxpayer-funded program called Project Reconnect. Just reconnect over there.
Yeah.
A bus ticket to Salt Lake City, Utah, for the same family would cost about $800. A flight, a Friday flight to Honolulu for 4 people would cost about $1,400. That's it.
By the way, still
Seems like a
haven't
pretty good deal.
Still haven't
Right?
fixed. Still have not fixed the problem of folks moving in here and signing up for welfare that live in other states.
Yeah.
35% of the welfare checks in this state. 35% of the welfare checks in this state are cashed outside of the state.
Well, these folks are probably still collecting them.
They probably are. They
Right,
absolutely
cut 'em off.
probably are.
We're going to send you to Honolulu But we'll still give you the welfare benefits and everything else.
By the way, you can still fly into New York City and get picked up by a town car, included in the welfare service. They will drive you, sign you up for benefits, and drive you back to the airport. All you need is a mailbox for that check to show up at. And so here's the gig, folks. You find a mailbox. Go. By the way, we're in right outside of Buffalo right now. Go to the east side of Buffalo and look at some of the apartment complexes and ask yourself, why are there 17 mailboxes on that apartment complex that only fits 4 people or 4 homes? 4 families? I don't know. Maybe they're collecting checks and sending them somewhere. Just a thought.
Do you ever wonder why there's 42 checks going to the same house?
I got a buddy of mine who's a mailman, and I said, you gotta videotape this for me. This is a true story.
It's ridiculous.
Somebody sets up every month, first week of the month, a mailbox with a stick on a vacant lot.
Nice.
And he says he opens up and he sees this guy, opens it up, puts the welfare check in, watches the guy take the mailbox out so nobody's going to steal it throughout the rest of the month, puts it back in his car and drives away.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
And so it'd be so easy to crack down on fraud. That's not what they want to do. Of course, the DHS here, Department of Homeless in New York City, defended the stratospheric cost, saying it actually saves the city money on shelter funding, which amounts to about $41,000 per year per family, as compared to the average yearly rent of $17,500 to house families somewhere else.
Something like that, proactive like that. You would hear that story somewhere else. Saying,
well, not so happy though are the recipients of these homeless folks and these cities where the de Blasio hasn't actually.
Well, you send them to San Francisco. You actually send them to California because the only reason they're there is because of the weather.
That's
they
right.
don't care.
That makes sense.
And they're all loving and all inclusive.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's where I would send them. I think that's a great idea.
Welcome to New York, where we're going to send you somewhere else if you're homeless, not actually fix the problem.
I'd send them right to Nancy Pelosi's property. She's got plenty of room there.
Yeah, they're all over. They send them all over. Look at this. Here's the exit map here. They're all over the place. It's nice places. I mean, look at that one, all the way down to Puerto Rico. That'd be a good deal. I mean, look, if you're homeless and you're in New York City and they say, look, we're going to give you a flight to Honolulu, I'm taking that flight, right?
Not?
I mean, you're going to live in paradise instead of New York City?
Start over.
I mean, good Lord.
Not paradise anymore. It's turning into San Francisco.
Honolulu?
On a few funny notes, San Francisco, by the way, more dogs now than children live in San Francisco. So
they don't mind the feces on the street then, I guess.
Apparently
right?
they're okay with it. Yeah, they crap in the streets just like.
Well, now they can blame the dogs. As opposed to the homeless people.
Yeah, although and dogs seem to not be upset about the heroin needles sitting in the street.
Did you see this one? This is classic. Warren's meme team, she set this up. Now liberals cannot meme, right? They don't understand how they just don't have a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
They're way too,
I beg to differ. I
focus
saw
on TDS.
Warren. She drinks beer. Her
Well,
husband drinks beer.
So Warren created
you didn't think that was funny?
This is hilarious. So Warren created the meme team, right? So somebody comes out. The first thing that somebody tweeted that I read was, "Oh, you're not going to like what comes next." And all of these memes followed of just hilarious, just absolutely just crushing her. It was so funny. Some of these are just I mean, I can't even tell you, but you got to go online and look at it. Anyway, so obviously working out horribly for Elizabeth Warren as she is getting taken apart, MAGA death. I mean, just so much free health care. Offers free health care.
Please be the candidate. Please be the candidate. Now she's going after billionaires only because she's only worth $18 million. I love that.
That's right.
I love that. Well, who's a billionaire that the other day is crying on like, I love people. I don't get that. But
oh man, oh boy, some of these are just hilarious.
8 in 10 millennials believe they aren't good enough. Study finds. See this?
Oh man, I'm still laughing at the memes. I'm sorry.
8 in 10 millennials believe they aren't good enough.
Well, they're not. They're not. That's because they were poorly educated by a liberal education system. So
what's the difference? You're going to be dead from climate change anyway, so don't worry about it. Come on, keep it up. I think that's about it for me.
Yeah, I
think
we're
videos
good.
in Silicon Valley. From toast of town to toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook CEO on the outs with Dems. So they are. We called this, by the way. You can go back to the podcast in the beginning. Go back to our radio shows. We said they would eat their own, and we are right. They are now eating their own. They've got the crappiest candidates I've seen since I've been around on the planet. I can't. It's funny because I continue to hear people tell me every once in a while, and some of these conservatives get caught up in, maybe he's impeached and all this stuff, boy, is Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. I'm nervous about Bernie Sanders. Look at folks, the best candidate the Democrats had the best candidate they had. It wasn't Barack Obama. It was Hillary Clinton. She checked all the boxes, right? She would show up in a black church, talk like a black person, right?
I don't feel no way tired.
She was a female. Check. Check. Right body parts. Check. Right? She had all kinds of resources, right? Check. All kinds of money. Her husband, although he was accused of rape, I don't know, dozens of times, he was on a plane with pedophiles. He seemed to fit the bill as being the godfather of the Democrat Party. The greatest thing, right? Check. 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 She had checked all the boxes and got her ass kicked.
Yeah, she did.
Got her ass kicked.
And the best part is...
By the way, you mean to tell me Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton, those two candidates are not even close.
Look, Elizabeth Warren, we'll talk about this on our radio show.
If it is Biden, I'm not sure he's even know he's going to be in the race.
No, he doesn't even know what year it is. No. Elizabeth Warren she now has come out with her full Medicare for All program.
Right.
It's $52 trillion price tag, which is probably short, by the way.
Oh, of course it is.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're going to campaign on expanding the federal entitlements by $52 trillion, raising taxes on everybody because no one's dumb enough to think that they're not going to have their taxes raised.
Well, she didn't answer the question, by the way. She was asked multiple times.
No, of course.
Are you going to raise the middle class?
I'm going to lower costs. Oh, she's got to lower costs. I'm going to lower costs.
Yeah, because that's always happened. Ever.
Yeah, they're going to lower costs.
Or
right.
never.
Sure you are. But that's not a winning message. You're going to take away health care, the people that like their doctors and their health care plan. You're going to take that away from 100 million people? There's no way. She goes down in flames. I think she is the candidate, by the way. Kamala drops out next. Biden's not even sure where the next campaign stop is, so he gets lost along the way.
I was disappointed. We lost Beto this week.
Beto, yeah, gone.
We lost it. His message of I'm going to take guns out of good people's homes didn't work.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
I mean, just amazing, right?
I was shocked. I was like, I had my 9mm on the table ready for it.
I was going to turn him in already. I dropped one off last week. I had no idea. I mean, seriously.
I like thinking this is it. That's the solution.
Who knew? Right. Who knew that wasn't a winning message? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, start in Chicago and move your way out.
Yeah.
Right? Start in the center, start to move your way out.
Perfect.
But, it didn't work. I don't know.
I
thought that would have been a winning message, especially in states like Texas. I thought for sure that would have been
absolutely.
That would have been a winner.
I love how he uses the stories, though. In fact, I met somebody last week that decided to go down and decided that nobody needs a weapon of war, and he just voluntarily turned his gun into the police department. Okay. Yeah, find that guy, and I'd like to put him on, because that didn't exist, right? That didn't happen, right? No, everybody believes that, right? No right-minded Texans turning any gun into anybody. I can assure you of that, right? They have way too much pride for that. Anyway. All right.
Can you imagine the chaos that would really? Could you imagine being that stupid?
I think.
Could you imagine being that dumb? Could you imagine saying, I think people are voluntarily going to turn in their gun. Here's the law.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And could you imagine how unsafe that would be?
Yeah.
By the way, a very strong lady took somebody out in Florida with an AR-15 and saved a lot of lives this week. Now, I know
we're going to tell the whole story on the radio show.
You probably saw the story on CNN.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Headlines.
I probably saw the story on CNN.
Well, what's his name?
In the meantime, by the way, there was a judge in New York City who let some scumbags out. Out in zero bail.
Well, that's coming in because that's where it's going in New York State. As of January 1, 2020, no more bail requirements for just about everything except for the most violent of crimes. So if you shoot a gun at somebody but don't actually hit them, you get out.
Happened.
That happened twice.
Happened. By the way, the two dirtballs that did it had a rap list.
Look,
I mean,
if you live in New York State,
here's my wallet, Glenn. Here, you can have my. I'll bet you everything. You know.
Yeah.
I know you'll give it back to me. So here's my wallet, right? So I bet you within 6 months, both of these dirtballs kill somebody.
Oh, for sure. Look, they already have like a rap sheet that's a mile long.
These are all singles, by the way.
They have 10 different, 8 to 10 different crimes already committed. So the thing is, if you live in this state, you know the crime's going to get worse. Petty crime's going to go up. Violent crime's going to go up. You need to protect yourself. Everyone in our office has gone out and taken the concealed carry permit class, and most of us are carrying a concealed permit. Sadly, in New York, you can't. In New York City. In New York City, unless you are a celebrity, you are connected, or you know somebody big time, you are not allowed, you're not going to get a pistol permit to protect yourself. These two criminals are walking around New York City, which is why I will not go there anymore.
No.
I won't go visit. I won't stop by. I'm not going there for a conference. No. I'm not going there until some actual leadership steps up and backs the police force to get these criminals off the street, not has liberal judges putting it back out there. These folks, I hope not, but these folks have a very high probability that they're going to go out there and commit more crimes, and hopefully not, but a high probability that they're going to kill somebody. You're absolutely right.
Why would you not?
And I hope it's not your son or your daughter or
if,
your wife or your husband.
If you can just walk out of court because some liberal judge who's a complete moron lets them walk.
Yep, exactly. So we'll talk more about that on the radio show, folks. If you want to listen to all the stuff that we do, go to our website again at thefinancialguys.com. We are now starting next week broadcasting on Wham in Rochester. I'm not even sure what the station number is out there yet. We'll figure it out. Of course, our flagship station, News Radio 930, WBE out of Buffalo. A lot of prep. And then, of course, Florida on WFTL down in South Florida, AM 850 down there. You can find all of our podcasts on any platform that you like. Obviously, if you're listening to it, you probably already realize that, so probably a dumb thing to say. But if you want to find out about our radio shows and listen to those, you can do that on iHeartRadio or the radio.com app, or again, right through our website at thefinancialguys.com. That's going to do it for us, folks. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. If you like what you hear, do us a favor, click the like button and share this podcast with your friends. We certainly do appreciate it. It helps us out quite a bit. And if you want to see us in action and watch the podcast, you can check out our YouTube channel as well under The Financial Guys. Thanks for listening. On behalf of Mike Lomas, I'm Glenn Wiggle with The Financial Guys. We'll talk to you next week here on The Financial Guys Podcast.